and got selected to go to some European Championships in '65 after the National Games in June. Sometime, I forget, July, August, went to a place called Saint-Étienne in France to some European Championships, and of course that was even another level and a real eye-opener. Well, by then I'd started fencing on a regular basis. I'd been introduced to fencing at the unit and gradually got more and more interested in it, and found, I think because I was a bit of a rough diamond and quite capable of taking care of myself, fencing just appealed to me, the sabre, because it was basically two individuals fighting. I mean, that's all. I mean, you have to abide by the rules, but you're literally fighting, and you really want to not hurt your opponent, but you want to hit them. And so I had that. By then I'd started focusing on basketball and fencing. Well, when we went to Saint-Étienne, we actually won the European Championship basketball, and I was in the Great Britain team as a newcomer, but I was obviously going quite well. And also I was in the GB fencing team and was in, I think it was 2 of the teams that won gold medals, team events. I didn't win any gold medals in the individual events, but I think I got a silver in the sabre, which I was over the moon about, individual silver, and then 2 team golds in the fencing, and then we also won the basketball. So I came back on cloud 9. I thought, oh, this is the life for me. I'd actually come out of, once I'd come out of hospital, I got my life sorted out, and I was married, and we actually owned a small riding school. So my wife was running the riding school, and when I was there, I was helping out and doing what I could with the riding school and fetching and carrying and that. But a lot of the time I was training, and sport was becoming basically my ultimate lifestyle. You know, that was it. I was basically dreaming of becoming a professional sportsman and just doing nothing else. And I was going in that direction. Well, without the coaching, we'd have got nowhere, I don't think. You'd have just fenced, and that was it. We were very lucky in Sheffield, but of course at Stoke Mandeville much the same, because the top coaches from Sheffield were the coaches for the international team anyway, so they went with us everywhere. We were very lucky to have the best coaches, and we had a coach in Sheffield that we all said was the best coach in the world by far, and we all got on with him so well. His name was Les Veal, and throughout the world he was renowned as a very, very good coach, and a lot of the other nations were a bit envious, I think. He'd actually been an international able-bodied sabre fencer, but he could put his hand to any weapon, but he was such a brilliant coach and put it over in such a professional way, and a way that we could understand. He was a hard taskmaster. You had to put in the hard work that was needed and the training, but quite frankly we were very, very lucky with our coaches, and Les Veal in particular. For me personally, Les Veal made me what I am as regards a fencer. We used to train at the able-bodied fencing clubs, and with them we trained at the Sheffield Sword Club at the university Sheffield Sword Club in the gymnasium there, which was huge, and it was on a very big scale, and it worked very well. Les Veal had been a coach there anyway, so they all knew him, and I mean he used to coach the able-bodied as well, but he encouraged the disabled to fight the able-bodied and vice versa. And what we liked was that the able-bodied fencers, some of them were world-class fencers, able-bodied fencers, top class, and they would have to sit down to fence us. So actually that did them the world of good, because it tightened up their defence and made it, they could fence without running up and down the piste, which not able-bodied, you've got the chance to back off and run away. And I don't mean run away as run away, but you know, you're backing off down and have a bit of a breather and drop your weapon and think, right, you know, and back in it. But you can't do that when you're fixed in a frame and you're fencing your opponent. You're within hitting distance all the time, so your guard and your protection and your parry riposte and all the things that you have to do have got to be spot on. And of course we were fencing people that we got so much respect for because of their ability, but it was surprising. Some of the people that we could probably be the equal of sitting down, because it brought them down to our level, but they loved it. They didn't feel it was like those fighting inferior fencers, they were actually training and coaching themselves in a slightly different way, which just seemed to work a treat. Then we came to the '76 Canada Olympics in Toronto, and for me that was a red letter year, because I was in the fencing and I was in the basketball, but the basketball, by then I was starting to be on the fringes of it really. So the basketball, I will admit that I didn't give it 100%. My mental focus was on the fencing. But I was in the basketball team and we didn't get a medal. We didn't medal at all. But the fencing went great guns, because I was in sabre and épée, and I actually got the silver individual medal in sabre, and I got the gold épée individual medal. Now that was the pinnacle of my achievement up till that point. Again, I'd had lots of team golds, and we actually got team gold in the sabre, but the team's good and very, very pleasing to do, but individual is just you against everybody else. And I stood a good chance of winning both gold medals. I could have actually won. I think I should have won the sabre. It was only my own way of tackling it. I just didn't play it right in the final. To get the silver individual sabre and to get the gold in the team épée, in the individual épée, was the ultimate for me. I'd arrived. I knew that I was on the top tier, and never looked back from then really. I was just rearing to go and couldn't get to my next tournament. And as at that time I was world, European and Olympic champion for about 3 years, I think it was. Well, I mean, anywhere that I went in Europe or anywhere competing in competition, you just knew that people were saying he's the world Olympic champion, so you could have to be on your best, best form to beat him. And oh, it was a fantastic experience, and I just felt 10 foot tall and so proud. And when they played the national anthem, when I was on the top tier of the medal giving ceremony, well, I was just stunned actually. I just couldn't believe that I'd come so far in such a short time, and it just gave me so much pride and confidence. I like to think that I hadn't got big-headed or cocky, but I felt capable in my own ability. Not only in sport, it rubbed in, it rubbed off, and basically as an individual I felt as though I could tackle things that maybe before I would have hesitated about. And really I think it was the making of me, I really do.